From the heart of Barnstable, welcome to the Monday, September 15th edition of Barnstable Today. I'm Len Gobeil.
Recently, Len Gobeil had an opportunity to speak with Bill Cole, Human Resource Director, about Barnstable's Employee Assistance Program.
As the Human Resources Director, have you noticed, are any of the managers that you work with noticed that there is a better employee morale because they think somebody might have gone to this?
Yeah. I think that we've had an EAP program since 1995, so there's a long track record of us, and it was with this particular company, so we've been with this company since 1995, that managers have noticed that if there's been any problems or situations, that they seem to go away. And so those are the best kind, because you notice something happening and then all of a sudden they start to change, and you didn't have to go in and exert some sort of discipline or corrective action. So the assumption is that the person sought outside help, and EAP would be their best alternative. So there are a lot of success stories, and as I was mentioning to you off camera earlier, that even though it's a confidential service, some employees are so happy with the service they've received and the help they've gotten that they come to me on their own and tell me, you know, hey Bill, I had a situation a few months ago, it was difficult, and then I went and talked to EAP and it's been great. And I love to hear those stories because it does show and quantify the success that we have.
You also mentioned something earlier that I think is worthwhile repeating, and that is it's not just the employee who can call EAP,
Yeah.
but a spouse can call, a child can call, a parent can call and say to the EAP, my son, daughter, husband, wife,
Yeah.
child, or whatever is having a problem, how can you help?
Right, absolutely. It extends to the family, and in today's society we have working individuals that have children at home, but they also may have responsibility for aging parents, so that the EAP would allow them to call on behalf of a parent, spouse, child, anyone who's a family member. EAP's term is they use loved one. So pretty much anyone, any loved one that you have, you're able to have them talk to EAP, and it is covered under this town program.
Where is EAP? If I make this phone call to 800-333-6624, am I going to get somebody over here at Cape Cod Hospital?
No, it's a separate company. It is based out of Taunton, but they also have a satellite office in right on the Yarmouth-Hyannis line. So if there's any kind of visit down here by employees, more than likely it would be in that office on Route 28. And also EAP Network, as the name implies, that there is a network of providers that they work with. So if there's a counselor or a psychologist or a lawyer that they're affiliated with on Cape or in Hyannis, you could go to them in their office. So it will be local. You don't have to travel that far.
My wife, son, daughter, mother has been having a particular problem for 2 years. I make the phone call. How soon can I expect a response?
You will get your initial call back, like I had mentioned earlier, definitely within 24, but probably within 12 hours. And then from that conversation, you would be receiving help immediately, and you could expect a face-to-face meeting within a day, 2 days probably.
And hopefully the problem will go away.
Yeah, I mean that's the hope.
Bill Cole, Director of Human Resources. Thank you so much for spending some of your time today to talk about the Employee Assistance Program here in the town of Barnstable. And once again, you're going to see the telephone number scroll across the bottom of the screen. I will tell you it's 800-333-6624, and it's good for any of the employees of the town, whether they're school employees or town employees.
Right, and their families.
And their families. Thank
Yes.
you very much.
All
Bill
right.
Cole, thank you.
Thank you.
If you've had an opportunity to drive on Bursa's Way and Stevens Street, you may have seen the rapid rise of the Kennedy Skating Rink and the Youth and Community Center. Patty Machado of the Recreation Department brings us up to date. We're with Patty Machado of the Barnstable Recreation Department. You can probably hear the sounds in the background of the new construction going on at the rink. Patty, this is the last season that we'll be using the old rink. Tell us about that.
Well, we just sent out the notices today for the last, first session of figure skating and hockey, and we open October 10th. But there's a lot happening, so it'll be a challenging year, but it's an exciting year.
You're really looking forward to, and we'll show our folks in just a minute, but you must be really looking forward to what's going on across the way over here.
Oh, no question. You couldn't help but be excited. But also, there's a little nostalgia here with the old facility. I grew up in this facility, and So there's a little closeness to the heart there.
How old is this building?
It opened in 1957.
And as I recall, it opened and it had no roof.
No roof. You used to have to shovel. The parents would shovel off the snow before any big event after a snowstorm.
Yeah. So those are fun times.
Yeah, see, it brought the community close, but it was only supposed to be a temporary facility. 51 years later, here we are, finally getting the facility that we need.
Let's turn around and let's show our audience what we're looking at in terms of what's going to happen next.
Yeah, there's a lot that's happened.
We've moved from
Little Kennedy rink
We've moved from the Little Kennedy rink
to the Big Kennedy rink.
Let's start with that. We are going to continue calling it the Kennedy rink, right?
Yes, this will be the Joseph P. Kennedy Memorial rink. This rink, the second rink, is yet to be named.
Okay.
So we're still looking for people that are interested in donating.
Okay, so for a price, somebody can get their name put on the outside of the rink.
That's right.
The second rink.
The second rink, but this one will still be the Joseph P. Kennedy.
Okay, let's do something that may not be cool in television, but let's turn around and show our backs to our audience and tell us what's going on here as our cameraman, Kevin Foster, shoots the rink. We're actually inside the rink now, right, Patty?
We're standing on what will eventually be ice.
Tell us a little bit about what's going on in this corner over here.
Well, currently they're putting in the bleachers, the bleacher section, which is, there'll be 1,500 seats, but they're putting in the iron for it, or whatever it is, the steel.
And what's going on up top? What will that be up in that area?
Well, all along the whole front is sitting area. So where those, on the top part, that it also will be offices. It'll also be a concession stand or a cafe, more formally, with 30 seats in the cafe. But then the entire side of this is glass overlooking this facility with seats all along it, so people can sit outside the rink and not be in the cold.
And what's going to be on the other side of the walls, that further down? Is that the second rink?
Yes, all the way across is the second rink, and that has, we can stand about 400, with sitting and standing about 400 people in that facility.
Okay. And eventually we're going to walk around and take some film of the gymnasium that's on the other side. Tell us about that.
Well, the exciting part about that is also, it's not just a gymnasium, we also have the walking track up above, and that's just going to be a huge asset to everyone in the community to get in here, and not only to have fitness on the floor, but to have an ability for anybody to come in and walk.
Okay.
We're trying to get the whole town of Barnstable fit.
Tell us, please, what is your timetable? How much longer before this actually is enclosed?
We're scheduled to open September 2009. It's right around the corner.
And it's coming along?
Yes, it is. Coming along perfectly, where everything's on schedule. Some days you're ahead of schedule, some days you're behind schedule, but we're going to be right on the money.
Terrific. Well, we're looking forward to the opening of this particular project. And I know all the citizens of the town of Barnstable and the kids are also looking forward to this. So it'll be a good thing when we get this built. Yeah,
but people need to remember we're still open next door in the old Kennedy rink, but you need to come and skate. You need to come and skate because it's the last time, you don't want to have it torn down and say, I wish I at least skated once in that facility. So everybody should come on down to get into the old facility so they can realize the new.
Sure. Okay, let's take one last look, Kevin, as you go around. This is going to be the brand new Joseph P. Kennedy Jr. Memorial Skating Rink, and it will be happening very shortly, sooner than we think.
Yeah, very soon.
There are no meetings scheduled for tonight, but the Town Clerk's Department reminds us that tomorrow is primary election day. Please remember to vote.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Len Gobiel.
And I'm Melissa Chartrand.